Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Citizen Network, the platform where we speak truth to power. This video is going to be a short one, maybe not too long. It's about the de-dollarization. De-dollarization. It's been news covered by other broadcasts. I think you'll see it on here anyway. And one of the things they're doing is that many countries are, at least 15 to 17 countries are planning to move away from using the dollars. What is Nigeria doing? Have we made any plans to move away from the dollars? Are we doing anything to ensure that the naira becomes a strong currency that we can use and get better value based on our the value of our resources? You know, what are we doing? Let's have a listen to this. 14 or 15 countries. Let's listen to this. Listen to this. Very, very important. Listen.
The dollar is facing a revolt. The world knows it as the king of currencies, but the dominance of the dollar is now under threat. More and more countries are looking for alternatives, and China's yuan is emerging as a clear challenger. Beijing is pursuing a string of deals. The latest one is with Brazil. Brazil and China are ditching the dollar. From now on, they'll use their own currencies for trade. So China is pushing the yuan. What about the Indian rupee? It's not far behind. The Indian rupee is also emerging as a serious contender. And why are these trends significant? Because currencies drive commerce. The dollar's dominance gives the US an outsized influence on the global economy, and a shift away from the dollar will only hurt America. It will also hasten the rebalancing of the global economy. In the next few minutes, we'll look at this trend and where this is going. First, the events in Brazil. Brazil announced the deal yesterday, and it did not come out of the blue. The agreement had been in the works for a while. A preliminary pact was signed in the month of January. It laid the foundations of the final agreement, and it's a fairly simple deal. Earlier, Brazil and China used the US dollar for trade. Now they will deal in their native currencies. China will use the yuan, and Brazil will use the Brazilian reais. How does it help? It will save costs. Look at the official statement from Brazil. This is what it says. The expectation is that this will reduce costs, promote even greater bilateral trade, and facilitate investment. China is Brazil's biggest trading partner. Last year, their bilateral trade was worth over $150 billion. So it makes sense for Brazil to ditch the dollar. But what's in it for China? Beijing is on a mission. It wants to internationalize the yuan. It is building a large coalition of partners. These are countries that will use the yuan instead of the US dollar, and Beijing has made considerable progress in this direction. It has secured bilateral pacts with 41 countries so far. The total value of these agreements is more than $500 billion. So the yuan is gaining international acceptance. And the petro-yuan is rising. Now, what is the petro-yuan? It's not a different currency. Petro-yuan is simply using the yuan to settle oil bills, just like the petrodollar. And China is making an aggressive push for this. It is finding takers in oil-producing nations. Russia, for instance, it has embraced the yuan. So have Iran, Venezuela, and some African nations. Now, reports say Saudi Arabia is also considering the switch from the dollar to the yuan. And this is going to be a very important development. We know that Riyadh has been at odds with Washington and is getting closer to Beijing.
So, there you have it. De-dollarization. China is partnering the BRICS countries, the BRICS countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and of course, South Africa. Saudi Arabia is trying to join them. And there are 13 other countries that are trying to join the BRICS countries and create an alternative, another kind of a currency bloc. It is something that is definitely happening. I spoke about it a few months ago, I talked about it. It is something that is happening, and it's something we need to keep an eye on. What is the position of the incoming government on this de-dollarization? Is this not an opportunity for us? Don't forget, if you all remember, this is the basis. This was what Gaddafi was trying to do when the US killed Gaddafi. Now, obviously, they cannot go and kill Chinese or the Russians. So that now is a real challenge. What they did to Gaddafi was to take him out. Gaddafi was actually trying to make sure that based on our resources, we would have the gold as a currency. And now what you're doing is what is happening. What the Chinese and the Russians are doing is that they're backing their currency with gold. And they are urging their partners to pay them in rubles and, and yuan, so that they can trade together that way, or maybe at some point have a currency that they will all agree together as a group. It is important. I would suggest that Nigeria should get in. I mean, Nigeria, if if we're going to be Nigeria, at least we should be part of that discussion, and we shouldn't be allowing ourselves to be swallowed up under yuan. We need to be standing as an independent country with resources. We need to be standing as equal partners. We should not be standing as, oh, we're begging for, because we do not need anything from these people. All we need is organizing ourselves. We have the resources, we have the manpower, we have the land, we have the weather, we have everything we need. But we need to see ourselves in the role of being equal partners. And that is why I'm very, very firmly for Yoruba Nation, believe it or not. I am very, very firmly for Yoruba Nation, because we have everything we need to compete with any country in the world. I have no doubt about that. And ultimately, for me, Yoruba Nation will come. But in the meantime, what I want us to, as African nations, I think Africa should really begin to look at coming together as planned by Gaddafi and have one currency. That would be ideal. That would be awesome, because we imagine that. I mean, the European currency, the EU, they have their own currency and different countries in it. That same thing can happen for us. And we imagine us backing it by gold. And we're the wealthiest continent on the planet. Just imagine that kind of, what that would do for us. In Nigeria, for example, we have over 600,000 tons of gold. Now that's a conservative estimate. So we can actually back our currency by gold. I think there's been some talk about the US trying to have between 7 to 10,000 tons. We have 600,000 tons in our land. These are things that we're not taking into account. I think Ghana maybe have slightly more. I'm not quite sure the exact amount Ghana has, but they have substantial quantities. But that's a major play. And we need to really begin to consider backing our currency by our reserve, the gold, the mineral reserves of gold. I just wanted to put that out there. What are your thoughts? De-dollarization has begun. What are your thoughts? What do you think of this broadcast? Leave a comment. Let's hear from you. You're watching, of course, Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. What I'd like you to do, please leave a comment, subscribe, hit the notification button, give us a thumbs up, help us reach more people with this podcast. What do you think? How are you seeing this? Are we going to have a world where there is going to be two currencies, i.e., either the BRIC currency or the yuan currency competing against the dollar, so that there will be no longer a singular currency dominating the world anymore? It will be a multi-currency world, whereby you can, depending on who your trading partners are, and the world is beginning to. I mean, the US is really the powers are winning, because people are no longer willing to listen to what the US are saying, because the US has been using the powers to oppress and suppress. US has got over 800 military bases in other countries around the world. 800. And the only reason why they have those bases is to destabilize those countries and to be able to control them. And that's one of the things that they're saying they're going to have an embassy in Lagos. We should be very wary of that, because this is not an embassy. It is going to be a military base, but they are calling it an embassy, and we need to be very alert and aware to that. But anyway, those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts? You're watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. What do you think? Leave a comment. Let's hear from you. De-dollarization, has begun. What are your thoughts? You're watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I'll be back later on. Thank you for watching. Please do share. Please continue to share the broadcast. Help us grow this platform. We need to reach more and more people. We'll be doing more on this platform on a regular basis to build the platform up, to get it to reach more people. Facebook is no longer reliable because of what they're doing with the algorithms that are playing with different things. We have numbers of people there, but they're deliberately depressing it. So we would really appreciate your support in helping us grow. Help us grow Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. And we touch on things that are really important to impact the lives of the people positively, such as in showing that people participate in their governance and begin to hold those they elect into office to account using the powers within the current fraudulent 1999 Constitution. Yes, there are powers within there. And in using those powers, we can even demonstrate why it is important for us to completely rewrite that Constitution and even go for referendum. But we need to begin first with participating in that process, because if you don't, you will never have infrastructure in your community. So please, ladies and gentlemen, do continue to share, help us grow this platform. You're watching and listening to Season AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. How long will I go to suffer? That's the question. Please, please, please do not relent. We urge you, share this broadcast. Help us reach more people. It is really important that we begin to work together. Help us grow this platform. We truly appreciate those of you. There's over 2,000 of you, 2,300 of you who are supporting us, who subscribe to Citizen Air on YouTube. Would like us to grow that more. That way we can reach more people. The more people we reach, the more we can actually get the information to reach more people, because we really want to positively impact the lives of our people. The coming generation are depending on the actions that we take here in encouraging you to take collective action to begin to ensure that the infrastructure you need in your community you get by actually participating in your governance and holding your governance to account. It doesn't matter who is in power. It's your participation that counts. It doesn't matter who is in power. It is your participation in governance that counts. Please share, share, share. Again, like I said, what are your thoughts on the dollarization? Leave comments. Let's hear from you. You're watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I'll be back later on. Thank you and bye for now. Thank you. Bye for now. Bye.